Take it. Take it. So
It just makes more space for me to put more wood.
I will take any, if you need to make a lot of space, I'll take anything you want.
So we'll start obviously by making a center. Mark, and we're going to, this is going to be done between centers. Okay, close enough. And we'll use our spring-loaded center punch, or you could use that fancy scratch awl that y'all made after the last demo. Now, obviously, you don't have to use a nice milled square piece of lumber to do this. You can use any and just get a hunk of limb or whatever. If you're going to use Australian pine or any kind of limbs or whatever, try and get a piece without the pith in it. The Australian pine one, I don't know if you can see it because it's pretty beat up, but right along here, this thing just split wide open one day, came apart. So I, being the frugal person that I am, and not having any wood, you know, to make another one, I glued it back together with some Gorilla Glue in there, and then just put hose clamps around it to hold it until it set up, and then just returned it a little bit. So and you know, the reason we need our mallet is so that we can put our drive center in without mushrooming over the end of the drive center. Get that good tight in there to lock our tailstock. Switch to a longer press. That up. Mask and glasses on, and round this thing down. With a spindle roughing gouge. All right, I'm bringing the speed up now. I'm about 1,300. That was when I started. I was going about 7. Little candle wax on the tool rack to make the tool flashing here. Okay, we are around. So, basically what we're going to do is trying to figure out what we want to do here. So, make some marks. Now we just go ahead and remove a lot of this excess material. I'm going to switch to a little bit smaller gouge.
Point it up so it sees me.
I think it's hold on.
So get your basic shape, and if you haven't made one, so you don't have anything to gauge by, of course, stop and go ahead and grab it. Make it to fit your hand. Okay, obviously this is kind of too much fat, so I'm going to take it down a little more. And I'm going to switch to a spindle, regular spindle gouge instead of the roughing gouge. See how sharp this is. Get my tool wrapped up a little closer. And again, I know that guys that have been doing this for a while know this, but for the new people, you want to cut downhill when you're cutting end grade. But this piece of wood, of course, the grain is running this way.
Okay. It's there now. Okay.
I'm gonna send you, you can close out if you want. I'll send you the video link from Lucas, and at 11:30 we can log on to it.
Okay.
And we can put it right there. It just seems me. I don't want it to see Bob.
You can also use a bowl gouge if you want. Have to approach it a little differently. This would also be good cue practice. But I'm not going to pick that up. Because I need a lot of cue practice. So I'll do that off camera. So you guys won't be laughing at me too much. So. Feels about right. So come down here. Now you can make the head of this thing you know, you can make it perfectly straight. You can taper it down that way. You know, I've seen some guys that have them actually round like a ball. I'm not sure why, but so I'm just going to make this slightly tapered. You can see that. What I'm doing is I'm coming around the end. I want to kind of round over your top, obviously. And then clean off your end. And you're coming in. You want to either make it flat across the top or slightly dish it to where the outside is a little bit proud of the center. That way. It'll stand up without falling over. We'll come down to the bottom. Clean that up a little bit.
I guess assuming wireless. Yeah. Yes.
Getting this up just here. That feels pretty good. So, got our good shape here. Now, get tool rest out of the way. Go ahead and hit that with some sandpaper. Drop your speed. Sanding. And the lathe has reverse. So if you run it in reverse when you're sanding on top, makes it a little easier. I'm just using 220 paper here, but you get I mean, your tools are sharp. You got good wood. Depending on the wood, you can get a pretty good finish right off the tool. And of course, this is a utility piece. It's going to get beat up anyway. So, you know, unless you want to make some of these out of fancy wood for decoration. So. And on something like this, I just put a little, you can put some linseed oil or Howard. I wouldn't bother putting anything like polyurethane on it because it's just going to flake off. You know, the polyurethane is what I call a film finish.
It's a surface finish.
What's that?
It's a surface finish.
Yeah, a surface finish, a film finish, which is, you know, it doesn't penetrate like the oil does, where the oil penetrates, and you just give it a spritz of mineral spirits and get all the dust off of it. Paper towel here.
A safety note, notice that he's using a paper towel and
Yeah.
not a rag, and he's
Yes.
not wrapping it around his hand or fingers.
Yeah, rags can be very dangerous, especially if they've got any loose strings to them. String gets wrapped around that thing, wrapped around your finger, it'll pull you in. It can cut your finger off. It can pull you in. It can really hurt you. So you got to really be careful. If I was going to do anything with a piece of cloth, it would be a very small square patch of cloth, a round patch of cloth.
Yeah, and another safety note that I do, depending on the type of finish you're using, I take the rags out and hang them on a fence with paper, a clothespin or something, and let them dry. That way the spontaneous combustion doesn't happen.
Oh, no.
Alf, can you pull it back a little bit so they can see the whole thing? If that looks nice.
Oh, my.
What's that?
This is linseed oil and mineral spirits mix, about 50-50.
Then what did you put first?
Pardon?
Before you had, what did you put?
Oh, I just sprayed it with some regular mineral spirits just to get all the sanding dust off of it.
Oh, okay. How long is the mallet, total long of the mallet?
How long?
Yes.
About 9 inches.
9 inches. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
About. Yep, 9 inches, a little over 9 inches. About 3.5, little under in diameter. And then, of course, the handle to fit your hand. So,
okay.
And cardboard under it when you're putting finish on, so you don't have it slopped all over the bed of the lathe. Let that soak in a while. And, let it soak in and, hit it several times if you want. Hit it with some paste wax. Polish it up a little bit just to make it pretty until you start using it. And, of course, the ends where you've got the live center indentation and the drive center indentation, need some little sanding by hand, with a sanding disc in a drill or something. I suppose if you wanted to, you could put a little recess in the drive end when you started and just use a friction drive. That way you wouldn't have to worry about any marks from the drive center. Several ways you can do it. You could put a tenon on it if you wanted and hold it with a chuck and then just part it off, and then you'd have a smooth end. It just depends on how much, what you're going to do with it, if you're actually going to use it or if you're just using it for decoration. And, how well you want to finish it off.
Now think of a variation. If you look at the silhouette, if you think of a variation, if you turn that straight up, it could be similar to a vase that you maybe put a glass tube in or a weed pot. If you extend it and double handle it, now you got a rolling pin. So think of
There you
different
go.
variations of projects.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, I have a variation of that. Since we're talking about mallets, I made this one. This is it's 8 inches long and it's 5 inches across. But what I did is I drilled out the inside and cut the interior like a bowl. Then I filled it with lead to make a door stop. So stick that by the door, and it's
okay.
heavy enough. So it's wide enough and heavy enough to keep a door open.
So obviously this isn't dry, but I'm just going to go ahead and wipe this down now. Take it off so you kind of look at it. But go ahead and spin it up.
And this type of project is like tape measures. If you make a bunch of them, whenever you need one, you still won't be able to find it in the shop. So make a bunch of them.
Yeah, another good piece of wood to probably make this out of is maybe some kumaru. And I'm not sure if you guys know this. I think we brought it up in the past that if you're going to be using it, you want it made out of hardwood. If you're using it for decoration, make it out of anything you want. It's pretty. But the pink tababuya tree that we see a lot of down here, if I'm correct, is actually a member of the Ipe family. That stands. So, you could sand this out if you wanted. Sand that out if you want. This one I can go in closer and dish it out more with a real fine spindle gouge. This one you don't want to get in too close and hit those spurs with your gouge. So, but that's basically the project for the day.
Beautiful.
I don't know how much this weighs. It's pretty heavy. That's heavy wood. There, go ahead, David.
Oh, okay. If you can see it, it's a 2-piece cut here. This is the handle that goes all the way through. You can see the dowel kind of, that's solid all the way through. And then I split it with a wedge and then turned the mallet head so that I got a little bit heavier. It's a little bit more complicated, but it's a little bit fun too.
Yeah, you could actually take a nice fancy piece of wood for the handle and then use something harder for the actual mallet.
Right.
Use 2 different species of wood.
Now I saw one of the guys actually on YouTube thread the handle and the mallet head and screw it in. But again, I didn't do that. I took the simple with a wedge and split it and just wedged it in there.
That's glued in, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So,
back to you, Ralph.
well, I guess that's pretty much it for the demo part. You know, just a simple project. Like I said, it would be